Hey, my girl. Hey, Island Girl is in the house. Hey, guys. Welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. As you see right here, we have another hot topic, a much needed conversation where we're going to go ahead and talk about. Let's talk the solemn tragedy facing our precious children. So that's what the topic is going to be today. I'm going to try to stay on at least 1 hour when it comes to YouTube. Now, when it comes to TikTok, I don't know how long I'm gonna go ahead and stay in. But I see my girl, Island Girl, is in the house saying Grand Rising, Grand Rising, also on my TikTok. Guys, come on and engage. Let me know that you are in the house. Let me know that you are in the house so we can go ahead and talk about more unapologetic content. This right here, guys, this is a much needed conversation. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor at all. But I saw this article that was on one of my notifications when it came to Dr. Ovido, Ovido. He's a pediatric neurology where he warns about a solemn tragedy unfolding in our homes today. So that's what the topic is going to be. Let me go ahead and put my glasses on, trying to be cute and knowing good and well I can't see. Thank you. Thank you very much. You say, how come you're so beautiful? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Sometimes all it takes is just some kind words, even though you don't feel your best, but that's all right. And I pray that the Most High God bless you tremendously, okay? Tremendously. So, guys, welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. I am on two platforms. I'm trying to see if I can go on more, but first, I have to chew gum and walk. I'm still kind of new when it comes to TikTok because TikTok is very, very sensitive. Is certain words that will trigger it off in a minute. But this right here, guys, this is a much needed conversation, especially when it comes to our kids. I was going back and forth yesterday on YouTube where people, they value wealth, especially when it comes to material blessings. Material blessing, like I said, that does not mean that the Most High God has blessed you just because you have material blessings. And they think that, okay, where I can go ahead, and shower my kids and give them whatever they want. But sometimes, and I'm a witness, especially, like I said, I cannot speak anything that I have never experienced. I have three kids, three all in the military, but one, the baby boy, is very, very spoiled because we was more mature. We was working, my husband and I, out the house. But when it was with my two other kids, I was home. I was hands on. So it's a difference when you hands on in the house with the kids than what you outside. Now, being outside, my husband was working, I was working, we all both had owned our own business. And when it came to our kids, our small kid, our young kid, we showered him with so much where he just didn't want it anything, and now he don't know what the word today, and he's 25 years old, he don't know what the word no means, okay? And that's why I said there and say, when it comes to this conversation, this right here is a much needed conversation. So guys, come on and share the live, share the live. I am on also, I'm on YouTube. Hey, Jeff Short is in the house. Say hello. So guys, come on and share the live for more unapologetic content. And before I get on, let me go ahead and read my copyright disclaimer, because I got to do that. So let me make sure that you guys can hear me real good on both platforms. So let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. Okay, you guys can hear me real good. And also, I truly believe that you all can hear me when it's on TikTok. So guys, thank you for sharing the live for more unapologetic content. Okay, like I said, this right here, this is serious. I try to come on and talk about things that, maybe some people can relate to, and some people may not can relate to. I'm not a type of person that I'm just coming on without giving you informative information. I was watching a young, beautiful little young girl. She consider herself as woke. She has a whole bunch of followers when it comes to TikTok, and she calls herself woke. She has the dreads. She even have the scarf and everything on her head. But it was what she was feeding. And I was sitting there and I was saying, usually people, when they stand on their truth, they don't get too many people to come in, because when it comes to truth is like kryptonite. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants someone to go around and tickle their ears. So I was listening to this young girl, very, very beautiful young girl, because we already know that's exactly what they use, especially when it comes to what I call this social media outlet. It could be good and it could be used in a very evil way. But sometimes when you see so many traffic, so many people that's coming on, they feed you what you want to hear. So I was listening to the sister, and she was telling people, how to engage, how to, get people to come in. I was all for it, because, I'm all about engaging. I'm all about, sitting there, collaborating with other people. But when she said, we have to tell all our business, I sat there and said, what is she talking about? Don't you know that other people are watching you, and anything that you say, or will say can be used against you. So we have to be careful, even though we are on these type of platforms, but some things it's not for social media. Okay, some things it's not for social media. You have to be careful what you say, because I promise you, whatever you put out in the atmosphere, listen to me real good, whatever you put out in the atmosphere, it's going to come back at you. Okay, and that's real talk. So you have to be careful, because like I said, even though I know it's young people, that, making some easy money. Some, when you young, I promise you, if I was probably in my 20s and 30s, because I thought I was all that and some, and some people did thought, because I used to make commercials and everything. But like I say, beauty fast, but still of all, when you are young, people, they're attracted to stuff like that. So they can use you to soak in and bait in these silly sheeps that's saying that I want to have so many followers, I want to have clicks and likes, I want to have money. But you have to be careful, because like I said, I tell you guys all the time that you can never ever build a solid foundation off of material possession. That's like building house on sick sand. And I remember, even with my mom, she's in the house too, she's on YouTube, where she was telling me, you have to be careful how you put your personal information. I was sitting there and say, well, I ain't got nothing to hide. My life is an open book. But also, people prey on stuff like that. So I don't know where I'm going with this conversation right here, because that was not in it, but I just need to go ahead and put it out. So when you seen a lot of people is saying that, on these type of platforms, and it's so easy to set on your platform and just engage, and, but they also telling you to, share your entire life, let everybody see your whole entire life. But you better be careful, you better be careful, because just like I said earlier, whatever you say can be used against you, whether it's good or evil. So make sure that you be careful, because they got people that's on here, trust me, set up sites like this. You thinking all this right here is for entertainment. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hitting the daily hearts. You and I'm still trying to get used to that. So, like I said, have people that's very, very informative, that helping me and showing me. Alice Marie, also my girl Cuvette underscore world, helping me how to, start this TikTok channel and stuff like that. I've been doing YouTube for a very, very long time. I talk about varieties of stuff. But I see my girls in the house, Starbucks lover. She says, hey, Lady D. So, guys, thank you for coming on. I see where someone says the universe is always listening. Absolutely. And you will put out what the universe will producing. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is absolutely. That's why I said that, and I tell people, just be careful. Be careful, because they will use, especially they will use beautiful girls, to get them set up. And also the traffic is, is coming in, and the money is coming in. She's talking about, I'm making $9,000 a day, I'm making 10,000, showing her account and all this other stuff. Like I said, guys, the devil will bless you too. Don't you know, especially when it comes into the entertainment arena, when it comes to these musicians, these rappers, they will pay these people millions of dollars. Even some, they will pay them billions of dollars in order for them to sit there and send these young kids to what I call the slaughterhouse. They pay these kids to do that. They pay these entertainers, because they know when it comes to these young kids, they sponges off of stuff like this, especially when it look like easy money. All I have to do is just come on TikTok, or come on, social media, and just sit down and just eat me some Cheerios, and hey, I'm going to get all the subscribers, but not knowing that it's other people that I call perverted spirits. Oh my God, I was not even planning on going there. I was not even planning on going there. Hello, hey, how you doing? Little Goyo, how you doing? Thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. Also, she says, yes, thank you guys. Thank you for hitting the live. Come on and hit the live. Come on and hit the live, guys. Come on and get me to at least 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with my commentary, because this right here, this is a much needed conversation. So guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share this video, share the live. for more unapologetic content. In here, we are real talk, grown folks, honey. We ain't got time to tickle nobody ears, okay? We didn't come to tickle nobody ears. We here to stand on our truth. So let me go ahead and read the copyright disclaimer. The copyright disclaimer is under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, teaching, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. So guys, again, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. So let me go ahead and move this right here. I wish I could be able to show clips when I'm on TikTok. Every time when I tend to show clips, it says a violation of peers and all this other stuff. I don't know what's going on, even though I, appeal it and all, all that, and they go ahead and take it off. But, it's some stuff that I just have to get used to. So guys, welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk, Grand Rising. Like I said there and say, this right here is the time where, we got to be harmless as a dove, and we have to be wise as a snake. And also, the Bible said there, you read plenty of scriptures where it says, train up a child in the way that they should go, so when they get old, they won't depart. So we supposed to be good parents, especially when it comes to our kids. No way in the world that we should have social media outside parent, outside peer. Come on, you wasn't barking at first, guys. They out there more in the blanket, so now he hearing the dogs barking. So but we don't want other people. We don't. All right, now, come on. We don't want other people to teach our kids. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Now, come on, you're gonna have to stop this. Okay, you're gonna have to stop all that barking. So come on, guys. Thank you for getting me to at least 1,000 guys. They outside mowing the lawn, and this my little furry baby is gonna just keep barking. So you're gonna have to stop, okay? You was doing good. I should have kept you out, okay? So guys, thank you for coming in, and make sure you engage, make sure you talk, and I'm gonna stay on at least an hour when it comes to YouTube, okay? If I can go ahead and get the dog to stop barking, okay? So let's see where I'm at. So guys, come on and share the live. Thank you guys. Making sure that I get everything straight. Also, little Gory says that, have you ever gone to the Big Girl Don't Rap? She's a teacher. No, I never been to their page. I'm gonna go ahead and look at your comments so I can be able to read it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into what we are talking about. As you can see right there, I went ahead and I post up where it says there is a silent tragedy unfolding in our homes today. In our homes today. And it's concerning our most precious jewels. Like I said, the Most High God has given our children to us, for we can train them in the way that they should go. We don't need social media. We don't need outside influence to teach our kids, because God has given us those kids. Okay, so we could train the children in the way that they should go. Also, our children are in a devastating emotional state. So right there, when it says that when it comes to our children are in a devastated emotional state. And I remember when I used to was young. I think I was maybe about 20 or 19 years old when I used to say complaints about how I feel. They always said, girl, you too young, no way in the world, you should be feeling like that, or you should be going through, but you don't know what these little young kids are going through. You don't know what these children are going through, and you also don't know what these children are watching while you are out there sitting there trying to provide. I understand, out there, and the children, they are in front of the social media, they computers. You don't know what these kids are watching, okay? So you cannot say, if the child come and tell you, how they feel, you just can't brush it off. I remember when it was my parents, if I come and tell my parents, how I feel, it's like I don't have no feelings. Suck it up and move on, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, like I said, we are breaking generational curses in here. Absolutely, we are breaking generational curses. So right here, this is a doctor. He's a pediatric neurologist. His name is Ovidio, Ovidio, and some probably have read this. It might have came on your feed, but I found that it was very interesting. It warns us about a solid tragic unfolding in our homes today. There is a silent tragedy unfolded in our home today, and it concerns our most precious jewels, our children. Our children are in devastating emotional state. Over the past 15 years, research has gifted us increasingly alarming statistics about an acute and steady increase in childhood mental illness that is now reaching an epidemic proportion. So, like I said, it's not going to get better. If anything, it's going to get even worse. So, let's go ahead and talk about some of the statistics because I truly believe that this pediatric, he's a neurologist, he made some very good points where he said 1 in 5 children have mental health problems. Children. We talking about children, and back then they used to say, you ain't paying no bills. You coming home, you eating, you got clothes, you got all your games, your rooms, and everything. What's the purpose? What's going on? You want to talk about, you got mental behavior. Something is not right. The school's calling, and things, it's not working right, and you are a child. But let's go ahead and talk about it because, like I said there and said, it's not just because you showering your kids with all of the necessities, okay? So right here it says 43% increase in ADHD has been noticed. So what they are doing is they are diagnosing our kids with ADHD, and some of them don't even have ADHD, okay? But like I said, a lot of our children are being misdiagnosed. And like I said, I'm not a doctor, all I'm just doing, I'm just talking, okay? All this right here is talking. This is for research purpose only. But like I said, go and check on it for yourself. But when it comes to a lot of our kids are being misdiagnosed. And some of it could be because of, we so busy, we so caught up, trying to live this life, live this certain status in life, where you think that, oh, if I work from sun up to sundown, and making sure that I can keep my kids up with the latest fashion, that my kids gonna love me more and they're gonna fit in with the crowd. No. It does not work like that. You got your kids with all the latest fashion, the designer clothes, making sure now these young kids, and I know when it comes to my grandkids, my grandkids got hair on the floor, their hair are very, very long, very beautiful hair, very beautiful hair. But one of them, I promise you, the oldest, now that she became friends with another little girl, that she wants to wear lace front wigs, and she's no more than 16 years old and got beautiful hair. Beautiful hair. She's a Dominican. She's half Dominican, and her hair is very, very long. So I was telling her, I was saying, why, I promise you, because I'm also a cosmetologist. When I said, and I do her hair, her hair is way down her back, and I'm not even exaggerating, down her back. So I was telling her, I say, why do you want to wear lace front wigs? And why, you want to sit there and put all this extra stuff on you, and, oh, everybody else doing it. So that's why she was doing it. When I go outside, the climate and all that, and when I wear the lace front wigs, I don't have to worry about, it's the climate and stuff like that, but, I just don't understand. 16 years old and you putting in all that mess. But like I said, a lot of stuff of this right here, it deals with peer pressure. And I know when it comes to this type of conversation, people don't want to engage when we are talking about stuff like this. And the reason why people don't like this type of conversation, because they are caught up in what I call the system. They are a part of the problem. So when you talking about stuff like this, you won't get a lot of people. You won't get a lot of amens. You won't get people that's coming in wants to listen to this conversation until it's too late. That's why I sat there and say, we got to stop it. Someone got to say enough is enough. Because if not, what you're going to see history repeating itself. Oh, I don't want to hear this. Oh no, I don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. But I promise you, it got like a Donald Trump is working overtime, and all these pharmaceuticals is working overtime to continue keeping you to sleep. And that's real talk, okay? So you don't have to hear me because sooner or later it's gonna come and it's gonna smack you right in your face, okay? So we have to be careful, especially when our kids are being misdiagnosed when it comes to ADHD. Okay, we have to be careful. But also, another good point, it says 37% increase in teenage depression has been noticed. It's noticed. You seeing these kids right now, and the way that you can notice, because most of them today, when the kids are in their room, don't want to come out their room, they're right in front of the game. You don't know what these games are, how these games are getting into these children's mind. Where when I was growing up, I remember we used to go outside and we used to stay outside all day until the street lights come on. But today, it's like you got to shove these kids, you got to push these kids outside so they can do some type of activity. I can say, for instance, the 4th of July. The 4th of July, guys, I can show you some pictures. We have a very, very huge backyard. We had a slide where, a big old huge slide so tall where it goes directly into the water. These kids didn't even want to get wet. The only ones that was sitting there having a good time was the boys, but the girls didn't want to do nothing. I mean, nothing. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I want to go in the house. Oh, it's too hot. You see? But like I said, we're going to be accountable for a lot of stuff that is going on. I remember when I was young, we used to go outside and we used to play. We didn't even have like the toys that the kids have today. We made our own games. We used to go out there and we used to play hopscotch. We used to play rope. We used to do all the fun things. But now these kids, if it's not plugged into the electricity in a socket with a USB card, they're not going to want to play it. But we are part of that. We are part of the system because, like I said, you can never sit there and build a solid foundation off of material possession. It's like building a house on sinking sand. So we cause that sinking sand. We cause a lot of stuff, and we're going to be accountable for a lot of this right here. I'm telling the truth, Star. Star sitting there laughing. She know I'm telling the truth, honey. Yes, she knows that I am telling the truth. So let's go ahead and read some more. So we already talked about the statistics, how 1 in 5 children have mental health problems, 43% increase in ADHD. They ready to go in and pump that all in their system, okay? Also, 37% increase of kids' depression has been noticed. 200% increase in the big S, certain things that we cannot say when we're on social media, but he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the big S, okay? 200%, that's a lot. Increase in the S rate in children. I'm not talking about adults. I'm talking about children aged from 10 to 14 has been noticed. Did you hear what I said, guys? 200% of kids from the age of 10 to 14 thinking about unaliving themselves. They don't even want to live anymore. My God. It's time for us to sit there and wake up. Island Girl said a generational of lazy kids is about electronics. Absolutely. But the thing about it, who's buying the electronics for the kids? And like I said, they say, I'm just as guilty. We all just as guilty. Like I said, we are not out here pointing a finger, but we're trying to find a solution. How can we stop this epidemic? Our kids don't even want to sit there and be alive anymore. What's going on? Like I said, we got to check and see, especially when it comes to these electronics, what is these children are listening to? For Thanksgiving, like I said, there and say we have a very huge kitchen table. Nobody wants to sit at the kitchen table. If they do sit at the kitchen table or the dining room table, they got these cell phones in their hands. And what you think is going on? Who are programming those kids? Because it's sure not us, because they are not even listening to us. Like I said, the system is not messed up. The system is only doing what the system is designed to do. And that's real talk. This is real, guys. This is real. And I understand when you start talking about stuff like that, you're not going to get a big crowd. You're not going to get so many people standing in on your side because we all are part of this problem. Yes, we all are part of this problem. And we all going to have to give a report. There's a silent tragedy facing our precious jewels. And I promise you, it's in your house as well. And if it's not in your house, it's someone's house that you know that's going through the same problems. Like I said, we have to be careful because you have to give a report at the end. And I know when we talk about conversation, people will be saying, oh, you need to talk about stuff that's going to elevate, something that's going to educate. But when you talk about stuff like that, some of you guys don't want to hear. But the Most High God say, tell it to them anyhow. We got to tell it to them anyhow. Like I say, yes, I want clicks and likes. Yes, I want to engage, but I don't want to sit all day arguing over stupid things when I know the kingdom of heaven is suffer violence, and we got to take all this back by force. This is real, guys. This is not just about clicks and likes. Yes, I want to get paid. Who don't wants to get paid? You think that I wants to come on each and every day and don't have anybody to come and engage, look like I'm talking to a blank wall? But that's all right because God said there, say, long you go out there and do your job. One person plant, another person water. God gives the increase. So we don't have to worry about if anybody are watching, anybody are sharing. Oh, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear it. It's going to be a time that you're going to have to hear this. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, it's not going to get better. If anything, it's going to get worse. But you got to worry about what's going on in your household. Because I promise you, it's not going to sit there. It's not going to go away until someone say enough is enough. Someone have to draw the line and say enough is enough, okay? So right here, 200% increase of our children from 10 to 14 don't want to even live anymore. And they got so much life ahead of them. So much life. And if I got to clean this mic. And if we don't, I hope you guys can hear that. And if we don't put our foot down and find a solution, then we're going to be a part of the problem, guys. We're going to be a part of the problem. So right here, it says, what is going on and what are we doing about it? So that's the question. What are we doing about it? Are we just sitting here, we talking about it? Or are we just going out there and continue working, trying to sit there and see if we can live like the Joneses, but inside living like the Walters? Like this girl was telling me, oh, uh, when it comes to, some people are caught up in the reality shows when it comes to Letitia. Oh, she was a house, what you call that? She was a mother in the house, she used to stay in the house, raise her kids, so she couldn't be rich. That's rich. Was it rich? Yes, it is rich. It's better than going if she didn't have to go and work at a 9 to 5. If she got a husband that's out there helping her, So if she's in the house and she's taking care of her children, that's rich. That's more valuable than money. Because what she's doing is she's breaking generational curses. I know you don't understand exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, guys. Thank you for getting your daily hearts. So they were sitting there saying, you're going to frown on a mother that chose to stay in the house and raise her kids? That's just to show you what kind of mindset that you have. Because what she's doing is she's training up her children in the way that they should go. That's our job. Our job is to train our kids, our own kids, not to let social media train our kids. So when their children grow up, they're going to have the values where they're going to be able to teach their children. And right there, what you are doing is you are breaking generational curses. So I was telling her, what do you mean? Tisha didn't have no money. They didn't have no money. Like I said, they're saved. It's just to show you our mindset. They think that everything has to be based off of material possession. Thank you, Black. Guys, make sure you go ahead and check out Black channel, okay? Miss Black 432. And also, if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, I saw my girl, Stylish Jill. Stylish Jill. She's right there with me on TikTok, okay? Miss Black 432, guys. Make sure you go ahead and check her out, Miss Black 432. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. But like I said, we can't frown at just because we have mothers that chose to stay home and take care of their kids. One of my moms, she makes sure she carpool her kid to school back. All of the events, the functions, kids that they have, stuff that they have in school. She makes sure she's right there. Thank you, guys. Thank you for getting your dirty hearts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But like I said, ain't nothing wrong, guys. Nothing wrong with being a mother. If your husband is willing to go out there and provide while you at home and you being a mother to your kids and to your home, nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody think that, oh my God, that is the days of old. No, it's not. Because the ones that telling you that is the days of old, and that's what they call now a new word called pick me. Don't listen to them, because I promise you, the ones that saying, "Oh, you're nothing but a pick me," just because you chose to stay in the house with your kids, I promise you, their house is tore up from the floor. They don't even know what their kids are doing. Okay, all they doing is raising up monsters. Okay, because the only ones that's raising those kids, that's social media and outside influence. Okay, that's the only ones. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to reach my goal. Yes, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Come on, YouTube. Y'all got to do better, man. TikTok be showing me love in here. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. TikTok be showing me some love in here. So, guys, y'all got to do that. Come on. So, right here, let's go ahead and continue. Emotionally available parents. We need emotional available parents. That's what we need. Don't let nobody think just because you staying in the house, just like I just said, that, oh my God, that, you know, I'm a loser, or I'm ignorant, just because I'm not outside chasing dollars. Don't let nobody make you feel like that. Because I promise you, the ones that's chasing dollars, working from sun up to sundown, going home, those kids don't even know them. Those kids don't even know them. And most likely those kids don't even respect them. Hey, Christella Hart. She's saying, hey, sister, grand rising, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, guys. Thank you for showing my some support, guys. And make sure you go ahead and share the live, guys. Share the live. I'm also on two, guys. I'm trying to chew gum at the same time. I'm on TikTok and also I'm on YouTube. Come on, guys. Share the live, guys. Share the live. Thank you, guys, for hitting the hearts. Hit the hearts. Hit the hearts. Thank you very much. Come on, guys. We got to do a little better on YouTube. Right now, I am on 2,000.4 on TikTok. So, guys, they be sharing the live. So, I need you guys to also share the live as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miss Black. Thank you very, very much, Miss Black in the house. Make sure, guys, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, engaging, okay? We don't have to sit there and give you no gimmick. We don't have to sit there and turn on top of our head or tell you to tell your entire life. All we have to do is sit here and tell the truth, give you some informative information, okay? And I promise you that is more precious than jewel. Thank you very much. That's what I'm talking about. And make sure you tag me in when you go live, because I want to make sure that I support you. Because like I said, when one person plant, another one gonna come and water, and the Most High God is going to give the increase. So make sure you guys go and check out my girl, Miss Black 432. Check her out. And once I go live, get off my live, I'm gonna make sure that I go to all of your videos and make sure I hit heart and make sure I share all of your videos. And I promise you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And when you go live, I'm going to be right there supporting you. That's what I'm talking about. This is what you call kingdom building. Kingdom building. We don't have to act buffoonery and coonery. All we have to do, like I said, we have to help each other, because iron sharpen iron, okay? And that's real talk. My girl Starbucks says the crazy part about it, that the folks in Silicon Valley who have invented those products do not give the kids phones until they are 14 years old. My God. So the ones that are building these phones and all this stuff, according to what one of my moms said, that they don't even give their kids any phones, but yet they making the phones for our kids. That's just like with Cardi B. I saw Cardi B talked about how she sent her kids to private schools and they don't listen to that music, but yet she make that music and got our kids listening to it. But she made a valid point. She said, "Then say you a mother to your children, so you should know exactly what your children are listening to. So if your children are listening to my music, it's not me." It's you, because my kids don't listen to that music. Come on, guys. He that have an ear, let him hear. He that have an ear, let him hear. So let's go ahead and continue, because I like this. This is the type of talking that I like. This is the type of talking that I like. Miss Black said there, she said that you are so much, but what she said, thank you so much, but I don't go live yet. I just do my shoppable videos. I appreciate it all. Well, I'm gonna make sure that I go in your court and make sure that I get something. Okay. So thank you very much. Okay. I'm trying to learn, when it comes to doing the shopping and stuff like that. But you know, I'm gonna get used to it. I think that when I do my you know sh- products, I think I might just do it on Saturdays. Or I might try to do it every day. I don't know, but I like to talk about stuff like this. And sometimes you got to be careful, especially when you have those products up and then you talk about stuff like this. Even though this is education and informative, but like I say, people these days they call good evil and evil good. Some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue, guys. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it, and I promise you that it's not going unnoticed. So right there, we was talking about emotionally available parents. Some of the parents is not even in the home. They working from sun up to sundown, trying to live like the Joneses, inside living like the Walters. Okay, the kids go home. I mean, once the parents go home, the husband don't know you, the kids don't know you. You driving maybe in these nice foreign cars just to park it under your garage, never could be able to drive it because you working from sun up to sundown. That's not the good life. That's what you call existing. You think it's a good life because you out there thinking that, oh, you trying to impress the outsiders, but living paycheck to paycheck, robbing Peter to pay Paul. But this time Peter said then say, hey, I ain't got it either. Okay? So right here, clearly defined boundaries. We got to set boundaries. We have to set boundaries, especially when it comes to our children. Because our children, they mimic and they sponges off of everything that we do. So if there's no boundaries, then what you think that's going to happen? The kid's going to be out of control. The kid's going to talk to you any kind of way. But yes, they walking around with expensive tennis shoes and designer clothes, but talking to you any kind of way. Don't have a job, don't have a pocket, you know what, and the winter to throw I'm down from the south, okay? But yet they trying to tell you all, but you dressing them, okay? And now we got this messed up right now where you do anything, because I remember spell the rod, spoil the child. But these days, honey, you try to pull out the rod. These kids call it 911. Okay. But yet when they out there and the popos get after them, they gonna jack them up. But yet they tell us we can't even touch our children. But the popos, they jack them up, okay? So right here, it says, where I'm at, responsibilities. They have to have responsibilities. And like I said, I'm not just sitting there talking to you. I'm talking to myself. Thank God that now, they all out the house. All I got is my fur baby. But I got my grandbabies. And most of them is girls. All of them girls, one boy. And I could sit there and say, well, it's not my problem. It's my children problems, My son in the Marines, my oldest son in the Marines, his kids are structure. He got 3 girls, a set of twins, structure. These kids are come home and they have their look where to put their shoes. They set out their clothes from Monday through Friday. I mean, very structured. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Very structured. Beautiful grandkids. But when it comes to my daughter, she probably said and say, Mom, you probably was a little too hard on me. She just let them do anything that they want. And I know she might be listening. But yeah, I did say it, okay? Yes, I did say it. You know? You got to set structure. They got to take responsibility. Look at my girls in the house. Stylist Jill. Yeah, she said, hey, Lady D and chat. Stylist Jill, she came and peeped in when it was the other day, and she saw me on TikTok. I say, when I saw the name, I said, that name sounds familiar. I say, we talk on YouTube. She said, yeah, we talk on YouTube. But you see, that's how God is. You see what I'm saying? That's how God is. God will always make a way. And the thing about it, we both are cosmetologists. Even though I went ahead and I hung that shirt up, okay, I've been doing that since I was 16 years old, okay, really 12 years old. But she's a stylist, so like I said there and say, honey, it's all good in the neighborhood, okay. So guys, thank you for dropping in. Stylist Jill is talking, yes. Also, my girl Starbucks Lover and Island Girl, Christella Hart, guys, thank you. And also, guys, on TikTok, Miss Black, 432, guys, and all the ones that I didn't call your name, guys, just go ahead and charge it to my heart. I need to figure out how to make uh, the comments a little bigger, especially on TikTok. Now, I can see it on YouTube because it's in black, but when it's on TikTok, I can't hardly see it. Okay, so all the ones that went ahead and give me, guys, I pray that God will multiply unlimited chicken together and run it over. Okay, thank you very very much. Okay, so I'm let me go ahead and continue with what I'm doing, guys. Where I'm at, I got at least 10 more minutes when it comes to YouTube, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue a little while because I'm in the TikTok jail. So make sure you get me out of TikTok jail because my videos now used to do good, but now it's like two and three hundreds. Okay, I need to get out the 200, 300 jail. Okay, and I need to go ahead and get those videos. I need to make sure that you guys are viewing those videos. Okay, so guys, thank you for coming in to Unapologetic Real Talk. In here, we are grown folks. We not here to tickle nobody ears. Okay, we the type of person in here. We eat meat. Okay, we ain't drinking no milk. Okay, we eat meat. So let's go ahead and continue because the topic is let's go ahead and talk the silent tragic facing our precious jewels, which is our kids. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you some talking points, and this is coming from a pediatric neurologist by the name of Dr. Ovido. Let me see, Ovido. Ovidio. He's a pediatric neurologist. Okay. So right here, responsibilities. We have to give our kids responsibilities. I remember when we was young, when we get up, we used to make sure that, especially when it's on Saturdays before we could go outside and play with anybody. We have to make sure that we clean the house, wash the dishes, and everything else. And that's how I trained up my two other kids. Now the baby boy, that's a whole nother story by itself. A whole nother story by itself. But my other two kids, they had structure. They'll get up as well, go and they wash the dishes, make sure that the house was clean. They did all that. They did all that. We couldn't sleep in the bed until we have the house clean. And I learned that today, as a child, growing up. Before we go to bed, the house was clean, especially when it comes to your living rooms and your bathroom, because you never know. That's what my mom used to always put that type of fear in us. Always have your living room and your bathrooms clean because you never know who might come in and visit your house. Now, when it comes to your bedroom, that's a story by itself because nobody shouldn't be in your bedrooms. But when it comes to the living room, make sure that living room is clean. So before I go to bed, I have to make sure I don't like no dishes in my sink. Even though I got a dishwasher, I wash my dishes. Okay. I have to make sure no dishes in the sink. I have to make sure that the kitchen is clean and everything is put up. But see, with these kids today, it's no responsibilities. I'm guilty too. Lord, please forgive me. I repent, especially when it comes to my baby, because at the time when it came to my baby growing up, we was financial stable. My husband had a business, I had a business. But we could get help to come in and clean up behind him. Now today, he's just spoiled. It's all outdoors. In the military, spoiled all outdoors. Okay? But like I said, it's how you raise your kids, how you treat your kids. We had everything for him. All the games, all the latest game. When I say no, he goes to the dad. We ruined him, made him out stuff. But thank God right now, he just had a child of his own. I pray to God that that will settle him down. And we pray for the kids. We're going to make sure that we pray for the kids. We're going to make sure that we cover those kids because we already know what's out there when it comes to those kids. Everything is accessible. Everything is at a push of a button. These kids don't even have to go outside. So now what we got social media. Social media is what's teaching our kids. These teachers, children are being programmed. Oh yeah, they are being programmed. So let's go ahead and continue. Responsibilities, it's all right. If I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna buy my kids games and stuff like that, have them to sit there and do something around the house, do some type of chores, go out there and mow the lawn, or go out there and cut somebody else's grass. But you have to give them some type of responsibilities. Show me your report cards. You making A's and B's? Hey, okay, I can get you them games. I can get you them clothes. But I truly believe that when a child is maybe about 7 to 14, they do not need a cell phone. And if they do carry a cell phone, it have to make sure that it only ones that got the numbers, and that's their parents or their grandparents, only for emergency only. But they shouldn't have a cell phone where they are going on social media. And also, you have to be careful when you go on social media, how you seen so many people are telling you that you have to tell your personal life in order for you to get clicks and likes. Because, like I said, what you say can be used against you. So you have to be careful. Because even though you might sit there and say it's all fun and games, but it's promised people that's behind the scene, all they doing is sitting there, put all that data together. So whenever they want to come after you, you can come out and sit there and say, oh, I didn't say this, because your entire life is recorded. Like I say, whatever you put out there in the atmosphere, it's going to come back at you. Okay. So that's real talk. So in here is informative information. So guys, thank you for coming into Unapologetic Real Talk. Okay. So responsibilities, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep. Nutrition. Nobody wants to cook no more. We don't want to cook no more. Nobody knows what it is going behind the stove and stirring up the pots. Everything is microwavable. Oh, I want McDonald's. I want fast food. Fast food every day. Fast food every day. We could sit there and talk about Love and Marriage in Huntsville, because that's the only show that I talk about. And the only reason why I talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, because we all can take a piece out of that show called Love and Marriage Huntsville. I remember Melody always had aluminum foil pans all in her kitchen. Other people catering, spending thousands of dollars to get other people to cater, when all she had to do is go to the grocery store, make some groceries, and cook that food herself. And it's no excuses to say you cannot cook. No excuses. Because we got social media. You got all kinds of recipes. People sitting there cooking the food right there, and you are on social media every day. So why you can't get some of those recipes so you can sit there and learn how to cook? There's no excuses. That our kids are eating fast food every day, all day. I don't know. Just call me old fashioned. Call me old fashioned, but I'd rather be old fashioned than sitting there constantly giving my kids bad food. Now you're hearing right now that some of that food, especially when it comes to these cereals, they taking some of that stuff off the shelf. I heard Fruit of the Loom is taking some kind of dye or something out of their food, their cereals. You know? How someone say, how do I feel? Miss Black say, how do I feel about the new SNAP law? SNAP, SNAP law. I don't know what the SNAP law is. Let me see what the SNAP law is. Hold on, let me see what the SNAP law. Like I say, anything that you need to know, you go right there on social media. Everything is at a push of a button, okay? So in 2025, there are proposed bill like the Healthy SNAP Act and SNAP Benefits Fairness Act and a major budget reconciliation law, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which could significantly change SNAP. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, signed in July 2025, is projected to produce federal spending by almost 187 billion over 10 years through strict work requirements, shifting program costs to state, and other measures that could cause millions of people to lose benefits. Separately, the SNAP cost of living adjustment and shelter caps for FY 2025 were implemented in October 2024, increasing maximum allotment and cap to adjust for inflation. So right there, what it's saying that 187 billion over 10 years through strict work requirement. So I guess what they said, they're saying they want, if you're going to get food stamps, I guess they are going to have you guys, the ones that's own this assistant, to go out there and work. And like I said, this is what I say. And like I said, I'm gonna speak the truth. Everybody sitting there, on their panels, tickling everybody's ears, and looking for this and looking for that. What is God? God is truth. Inside of us is truth. So we have to speak truth. So when it comes to all this right here, like I said, that's why I tell you guys all the time. I come on and I tell you guys all the time. We have to be good stewards when it comes to our money. We can't go out there and spend unnecessary stuff because we think that the government is going to take care of us. They only will give you enough to get you addicted to them. And once you done got addicted to them, they gonna pull the rug from under you. So when you out there and you buying all that unnecessary stuff, just because you got money to go and spend it, because you're not putting money on the side for a food bill like we are doing. I can go right now to the store with $400 and spend it on just food, and I promise you, just a little bags alone will just fit in my front seat. At one time, you go out there and you buy $400 worth of food, you can fill up your back trunk, your back seat, your cars, and everything. You had so much rooms. But what I'm saying right now, we are in what I call that it's time for us to be good stewards over our finances as well. Because it's going to be a time where all that stuff that we are getting, we're not going to have it anymore. We can't keep depending on what I call the system. We can't keep depending on that. So when it comes to this program called SNAP, EBT card, when it comes to SNAP, like I said, if you are able-bodied to go out there and you young and you work, then you shouldn't be on that program all your life. Just like when it comes to Section 8. When it comes to Section 8, I think that the only ones should be in Section 8 is elderlies and disabled. Now, if you are young and you are on Section 8, you should have a cap no longer than 2 years where you could be able to take your money and put it aside so you can save for a nice house. And these days right now, honey, when it comes to real estate, I'm seeing young girls in real estate buying houses, flipping them. So just imagine if you are on Section 8 and you're paying no more than $20 on rent. But yet you out there and you working and you making almost maybe about 30-some thousand dollars a year. Just think about if you put that money on the side. Absolutely. Miss Black says, I'm young and disabled, and how can they tell me what's best for my household? Absolutely. But that's what the government do. The government, it tries to sit there and control you. This is what I call a part of the system. And the thing about it is that nobody wants to come out of it. Don't you know, guys, we are one of the richest people in the world. We are very wealthy. Don't let these people sit there and tell you that we are poor. I look at it when it comes to Kamala Harris. When Kamala Harris was running for the president, she called us sorority sisters. Her sorority sister immediately came together and they got her almost $2 million less than a few hours. So just imagine how much money that they was able to come out in the month time. They sat there and say about time her campaign, they added up. This woman had raised almost $1 billion. So just think about if we would have poured that $1 billion right there in our communities where we had schools, we had libraries, we had banks, we can get these kids the right education that they need. Trade schools. Some of our kids are not college material. But you'll never go wrong with a trade school. We don't have trade schools in our communities, but we have the funding that was supposed to be for our kids for trade schools. But it's not in that community. It's not in that community. But just think about if we would put trade schools right there in our community. When we don't teach our kids to own, we keep our kids to be on somebody else's job, pouring into the system. That's just like when it comes to the public schools. The public schools don't teach your kids how to be entrepreneurs. The public schools teach your kids how to work a 9 to 5 job. That's why I sit there and say, when it comes to the system is not messed up, guys. The system is not messed up. The system is only doing what the system is designed to do. So when it comes to all those benefits right now, you already know that it was coming. This is not a secret. They didn't hide. They didn't hide and sit there and say, we all of a sudden, we was just going to pull the rug from under you. You already knew that all this was going to happen. But the thing about it is that we are not good stewards when it comes to our money because we want to depend, just like when it comes to the churches. I was on somebody's platform and telling me, oh, come on and support us because we're about to sit there and get all these grants and all that. Look, I know all about all that. But every time when you attach anything, when it comes to the government, you give them the right to be in your business. So when they come in and they want to shut you down, they're going to comb all through everything because you got their stuff. It's just a bait. Come out and be ye separated. That's the word for the day. Come out and be ye separated. So let's go ahead and continue with this right here. And then after that, we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. So let me see where I'm at. Hold on 1 second. Like I said, when it comes to the system, hey, we have to be careful. And pretty much they're not giving us anyway. We work for it. We work for all that. All that what they saying that they giving us, that's crumbs compared to what they owe us. Cut the check, okay? That's what you need to do. Cut the check. Give us our reparation, okay? And that's real talk. And yet we don't have to ask you to give because we already know it's all ours anyway. The kingdom of heaven suffer violence. We got to take it by force, okay? And that's real talk. So let's go ahead and continue where I'm at. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stay on TikTok for a little while because I need to put in these hours, okay? So right here, we talked about the statistics, how 1 in 5 children has mental health problems. Okay. 43% of our kids. Come on. And that's a lot. And that's just half of it. Just imagine the ones that didn't report all this information. 43% of our kids are on medication, ADHD. Come on. 37 of our kids are depressed. 200% of our kids thinking of the big S wants to unalive themselves. So what are we doing about it? What we're doing is we ignoring what's going on. And that's why we could see that these crafty counselors are working overtime on us. And when I say ignoring, is that we so busy out there trying to chase almighty dollars when we shouldn't be out there chasing dollars. Dollars should be chasing us. Money should be chasing us. Money should be coming to us. We should be manifesting where it's coming to us. We shouldn't be chasing it. Okay? So that's really the downfall of the families today. Okay? Most of it because of financial, because we are in what we call financial bondage. That's a form of slavery. Like I say, slavery is not over with. We think that slavery had ended. No, slavery has not ended. This is what you call modern day slavery. When we shouldn't owe no man but to love them. Miss Black said, "That's what I'm saying. Cut the check." Absolutely, cut the check. Set boundaries, no boundaries at all. And also, on the other hand, let's go ahead and talk about this. These last few years has been filled with children of digitally distracted parents. Digitally, digitally means that we see our parents through FaceTime. That's what it means. Let me see if I can see it a little clearer because I had cut it off. Let me see. What it means is that, hold on, let me see if I can get the full thing of it. We see our parents, FaceTiming our parents, digital. You see, everything is digital now. We all programmed, guys. We are programs, and we get mad. The sister get mad when you see that these young kids don't want to have nothing to do with what they call Little Babylon. These kids, some of these kids, where they want to live off the grid. Oh, the system gets mad. They get mad when you hearing kids wants to live out there in nature. I know you hear all that noise, guys. They out there mowing the lawn, okay? And that's why the dog is out here barking. Stop it. So we live in a digital world, okay? Where we raising our kids on social media. Put the camera and let mama see what you're doing today. And we expect that these kids to respect us. So that's what that's all about. So I'm gonna continue, guys, on TikTok. Guys, if you want to go ahead and follow me on TikTok, I will be on TikTok. Thank you, guys. Island Girl is in the house. She stayed with me till the end. Stylish Jill, thank you guys for coming in. My girl, Starbucks lover. Also, Christella came in, stopped by. Thank you guys for coming in. Jeff Short, yes, guys. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming in to Unapologetic Real Talk. I stayed my little hour on YouTube. I usually just stay a little hour. So guys, you all be blessed. Make sure you go out there and show someone some love, even if you got to say, hey, you look beautiful, or, just help them open the door, show some love, go out there and touch some grass. But I pray that this word that I went ahead and I came out with, this is some very informative information when it comes to our babies. Our babies are the next generation. And you're going to give a report. I don't give a care. At the end, you're going to give a report. So make sure that your goods be not evil spoken of, okay? Because you're going to have to give a report. And also, there's a scripture that says, train up a child in the way that they should go. So when they get old, they won't depart. So guys, on that note, you all be blessed. Enjoy your day. I'll probably be back on tomorrow, most likely around the same time, about 10:30 a.m. Central, or maybe 11 o'clock. So guys, thank you for showing up, and make sure you go ahead and share the live for more unapologetic content. So on that note, guys, you all be blessed.